Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and welcome to the Roguelike Rundown. Now, here's the thing. I love roguelites, and I love roguelikes, and the thing is that with the way that I do the channel, I don't usually get to beat a lot of games, and I've been trying to change that lately. Now, I thought, well, I do first impressions, and I do let's tries and things like that, but how can I work it into, actually being able to complete a game and actually, still make content for the channel that's not let's play? Well, I feel like I could actually comment about how roguelikes in terms of strategy. There are a lot of strategy elements that go into what to put your points into, what not to put your points into, what strategies will help you over time, and how to deal with the randomization element that can be thrown at you. Now, you can only deal with that to a certain amount in these games, but here's the thing. There are ways to deal with it, and I want to show you exactly by taking a example of Ironcast. I did highlight Ironcast on the channel. I will show a link there. I'm going to use that card system. Let's see if that works. But let me go into exactly how I beat Ironcast, and in particular what I noticed in Ironcast. So I'm going to bring up the last mission footage, and I'm going to go into exactly how I was handling it out throughout the game, and how, if you bought Ironcast yourself, how you can actually get through the entire story mission, because it's not exactly easy. Not most roguelikes and roguelites are. Alright, so to begin with, this is the last mission before the ending at this point, and I chose the most sturdy mech. I do like health-based mechs in this game, because you will be taking damage regardless at this point. Now, you do want to choose it to your strength of your driver. The driver's strength here is his drive ability. That's his signature ability. It takes a little bit less energy when you hit a certain amount of energy blocks in a row, which does really help. Now, what you're going to want to do is diversify. Now, for example, my drive portion here is exactly what I'm going to focus on. My shield is to a lesser extent, but you'll notice that the strategy that I use in the boss, I'm going to use both the shield and the drive. But drive was the most important thing in the game, in my opinion, because the miss makes a huge difference. Now, the drive portion, you can get up to like 36%, 40%, 50% miss ratios. That's huge. And while that's sort of still dealing with Lady Luck, it can really change the tide. Now, if you get a shield up as well, that really helps you out. But if you ever have to choose shield over drive, no, I would rather choose the drive at this point, because that seems to always work in my advantage at this point. Now, on top of that, with your weapon selection, you're going to want to make sure that you choose one weapon that is specialized in terms of going through an enemy's shields. Enemies are going to bring up their shields, and you're going to want a focused energy weapon. That's probably the more important of the two weapons, because even if you don't have the projectile, like the rocket launcher or the, shotgun blast, that one is always going to be of use, and you can still do a reasonable amount of damage with it otherwise. So focus on getting a good focused weapon, because that is going to be how you're going to be able to damage systems and take them out rather quickly. You're going to want to focus on that. Now, the abilities that I chose, Now, one of the best abilities that you can find in the game in terms of the general augmentations for your driver is the 10 link node portion. So if you link 10 nodes in a row, which can happen, you'll get an extra node, whether it be an overdrive node or a link node. Link node is probably the more beneficial of the two, because you can keep that combination going and you can spread out the energy and the kind of items that you need. And in particular, it keeps you living longer. Now, I wasn't able to get it in this run, but I got the overdrive one. Secondly, I chose this one in particular in terms of this mission, because when you get down to that last 15%, it can be really problematic to try to take out this boss. So the extra boost at the end really is going to help me in terms of taking him out. Now, the first one is always the one that you start off with, so keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the choices for your actual Ironcast, that's going to be a sort of segmented portion. So one, you're going to want one that's really going to help you in coolant-wise. Coolant is going to be what is really important over a battle's length, and especially for the last boss, where coolant is going to be critical, because you're going to need to be able to do things without damaging your mech over time, or you're going to lose. Now, I got lucky with this run. I got this coolant perk towards the start of my run, and the fact of the matter is it recharges in 5 turns. It's one of the strongest ones in the game, because the fact of the matter is I'm able to use coolant at a reasonable rate, but I'm going to be able to use it at a reasonable rate, and by the time it recharges, in terms of the ability, I'm probably going to be back up and running in terms of, okay, I'm going to use it again. I'm, limited on my coolant, not anymore. So keep that in mind. That first slot, try to make it a coolant-based one. Now, second is one where it will steal some stuff from your enemy. Now, it's more so to get you up and running in terms of energy or ammo. I had energy for the biggest part of this game, and I chose to switch to ammo for the last couple fights. I really probably wanted energy in the end. Energy is a great way to get you up and running, but play to your strengths. If you're an all-out assault class, then take ammo. If you have a more defensive portion, which I did, take the shield or the energy portion. And the third one you're going to want to take a focus on is something that will complement your fighting strategy. Now, for example, I would always go for the shields to start off with, or the armor at the enemy. You want your third ability to counteract your weakness. So the drive was my weakness of going after the enemy in that case. So if they decided to, switch over to drive as opposed to shields, I could take it out with this third ability and complete the game in terms of, the focus. Now, we're going to get into the battle here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I dealt with this boss. This boss is a huge hitter in terms of combat. I took a defensive strategy to begin with, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did in order to do it. And we're going to go through this portion here. They're like, oh, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. We don't know what it is. We don't know why we're doing this. Why am I doing this? Who am I? What am I? The story is actually interesting. It's sort of cliche, but I don't expect too much out of the game on this point. And man, I forgot how long this intro is for this fight. So I know this is something a little bit different for me, guys, but I mean, I've been thinking about changing things up a little bit, especially because first impressions, again, when you've got like 15 games you want to complete and you've got all these first impressions you need to do, it just like you miss some of the great games that you've covered and keep on wanting to play. It does sort of suck in that retrospect, and that's why I want to sort of try to bring back content that would be reasonable for the channel. So I don't want to deal with oversaturate you guys with like gameplay. So I chose this. Now, one of the first things you want to do is always go for a reasonable combo. Now, like I said with the portions, I've got one where I can take on 10. But in the first round, you're going to want to focus on energy, and you're going to want to focus on getting your shields and raised up. You can't attack the first turn. The thing is that you're going to want to focus on running first. Again, in this fight, he can take you down rather easily. And so I'd rather take the energy hit and get my shields and my walk up rather than get the ammo that I need. Now, I did start with ammo, you could point that out, but it was my best move to try to open up the board. Now, you see, I got all those repair nodes, but I don't need them at this point. All right, so he's going to go for my main shields here, and again, I'm driven up in terms of I've got a 32% chance at the top to get myself going. Now, I'm going to focus on his shields to begin with, I believe, if I remember correctly. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to go right for the energy lands and go for that focused attack. I want to take him down quickly in terms of the shield so I could do massive damage. Now I'm going to get that combo going. So I'm going to take all the repair nodes. I know I don't need that many, but I want that overdrive node. That can deal a massive amount of damage. And in particular, I see the overdrive node, and I also noticed that, well, it would be good to get that portion. So I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to try to work my way around to get the 10 bonus again to get another overdrive node. Again, that is one of the best abilities in the game. And I use it to boost my defense at this point. I use your overdrive nodes in this last battle to boost your defense. Always take defense over offense. Here I'm getting more ammo. I'm going to get that 10 bonus again. And I'm going to fire right at him. I'm hoping to get the shields down in this turn, if I can. And it is. So take your shields down of your enemy first. You're really going to want to play to their strength in terms of what is their best ability and take it out immediately. Focus fire. Always focus fire. The weaponry, you can try to focus on that, but he could repair that rather easily. And that's the problem, is that when weapons are repaired, okay, fine, interesting, but the thing is that he could bring it up right to give you damage again. With the shields, at least if you get it down first, then you can deal extra damage during that turn. So always focus on drive and shields, or the shields, rather than everything else. All right, I'm going to try to get some more overload nodes here. And really, I don't have a lot of good choices. Part of the thing you have to focus on in terms of the gameplay here is keeping your board non-segmented. Sometimes it's better to take the small portion and set yourself up for the next combo rather than take the ammo that you need, especially in a fight like this where it's gonna last for a while. It's gonna last for a long while, so keep that in mind. Now, I got him down to half health. He does that thing here, and I'm looking and seeing what I need to do. I opened this up because I realized that I need some energy to get moving. Again, if you have to go for defenses and get your defenses up, then take it. Don't necessarily just ignore your defenses and hope for the best, because in this fight, it's not gonna work. Because I barely win this fight, even with everything said. And I'm already down to 1/3 of a health, despite my bonuses. Now I'm looking at here, my drives need to be repaired, and I need to keep those up. So I'm gonna take the repair at this point. Your drives better always stay up. No matter what you need to do, get them up. And even with the energy bonus here, I noticed the link node, I go for that. Even though I probably want more ammo at this point, I'd rather get the overdrive node bonus. I'm at full at this point, and now I see the ammo. Again, be careful about choosing your selections at this point, because you always got to watch those diagonals. There's always a creative way to make the links in the nodes. Now, I'm firing with my main weapon here with his shields down because it's the more powerful weapon. At this point, I was able to get it off one of the missions where you don't have to damage their weaponry, and so I focused on doing that at this point. All right, he's going after me. Uh-oh, my movement's down. I'm actually in real trouble right now. So I have to go for the repair nodes almost immediately. So I keep one of the repair nodes around just in case. And I repair, and I repair. Now, you see, the thing is I lost that entire bonus. So I didn't do a good job of keeping myself up, and that could have really come back to haunt me in the end. Now, I'm in trouble here because I don't have enough coolant. I'm going to steal some ammo and fire at him at this point, even with the shields up, because of the overdrive. But that was a bad move on my part. I should have focused fired on the shields and dealt more damage there. Now, in terms of the strategy, in terms of your board, again, a lot of people will say you need to conserve your ammo. That's in general correct. However, you got to be wary of the fact that when the game gives you a boost, you got to take it. The thing is I could have gone for maybe more ammo and gone for the shot, but the coolant was right there. I might as well have taken it because I need it at this point. All right, his shields are down at this point. I'm looking at his portions here. I'm actually going to fire again to try to take out his weaponry, because everything of his is damaged. And I'm going to overheat him at this point to make sure that, you know, it's going to take him a little bit more time to repair. And again, disabling an enemy is more important than anything else. And that drive and that miss, that was crucial for this battle. And I'm barely surviving still. I'm on my last legs. However, as you see there, I'm in trouble because I don't have the ammo on hand. So why do I choose the coolant here? Well, I choose the coolant more than anything else to get the ammo I need, because I know this is my last breath. Even if I take the energy, I've got to go for this at this point, and so I go for it. I got the overdrive nodes as well, and one more fire should do it, and it's done. Some other basic strategies as we go through the ending here at this point. Again, when you're facing your enemies, keep in mind their strengths and keep in mind their weaknesses. You want to disable their strengths more than attack their weaknesses, because their strengths will overburden you over time. Even if they seemingly have a weak drive system, you want to take out the shield system first regardless of that, because that shield system will compensate for the drive system in question. A solid weapon, strength-wise, is going to be up when he wants it to be because of the repair system. He gets the repair nodes he needs at that point. So trying to disable one weapon usually isn't going to work to your advantage. If you can disable both in a turn, then that's reasonable, because he's going to want to keep that focus. And in particular, if you can keep your shields up, disable their sort of spread weapons at this point more than anything else. All right, so I beat the campaign at this point. I had fun with this game. Again, if I had to give a typical review, this is a great game for roguelike fans and puzzle fans. You can go see the Let's Try for that. But other than that, I enjoyed this time, and I hope this gives you an idea for those who got the game, how to sort of get through the game without problems, necessarily. Alright, this is Dragnix signing out. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have a chance, leave some feedback and comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button. This is Dragnix signing off, hoping that gaming brings as much fun to you as it does for me.